Devotion under persecution. Christianity reaches Africa. 2nd century CE. In context, North Africa, Ethiopia, Nubia. Before 146 BC, Rome defeats Carthage in the Third Punic War, establishing Roman rule in North Africa. 46 to 57 CE, St. Paul undertakes missionary journeys around the northern and eastern Mediterranean. After 380 CE, Emperor Theodosius makes Christianity the official religion of the Roman Empire. 428, the Vandals invade North Africa from Hispania, destroying Catholic churches. 642, Islamic forces begin to spread through North Africa. 1491, the Portuguese begin to Christianize West and Central Africa as part of the slave trade. By the early century, Christianity had spread from Palestine into Egypt and along the North African coast. The area belonged to the Roman Empire, where Hellenistic and Roman deities were worshipped alongside local deities. Oppressive Roman rule led many North Africans to embrace Christianity as an act of descent. As the religion expanded, churches sprang up, affiliated to larger bodies overseen by bishops. From Egypt to Carthage. Early centers of Christianity in Africa included Egypt, Carthage, Numidia, eastern Algeria and western Tunisia, Ethiopia, and Nubia. Several important strands and principles of Christianity were developed in these places. In Egypt, the Coptic Church, one of the first Christian bodies, is believed to have been founded by St. Mark in Alexandria in the 1st century. St. Anthony founded Eremitism in the 3rd century, and St. Pachomius set up the first Christian monastery on an island in the Nile in the 4th century, initiating communal monasticism. Carthage, near modern-day Tunis, which became the preeminent center of Christian North Africa, was the birthplace in 155 of the theologian Tertullian, who was influential in making Latin the language of the liturgy. At the time of Tertullian's death in 222 CE, the African Church had between 70 and 90 bishops. The use of Latin rather than Greek was ratified by Victor I, the first African pope, from around 189 to 199 CE. Victor also standardized the celebration of the resurrection of Christ on Easter Sunday and threatened to excommunicate bishops of Asia Minor, western Turkey, who continued to hold it in line with the Jewish Passover. They say that this monk was the first to have set out to Egypt to proclaim the gospel which he had written. Eusebius of Caesarea, bishop and historian, 4th century CE. African martyrs. Until Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire under Emperor Theodosius in 380 CE, Roman toleration of Christians was interrupted by periods of hostility when they were routinely persecuted, especially in the wake of natural disasters and other misfortunes. Their arrest could lead to execution if they refused to renounce their faith, but the executed were revered as martyrs, and Christianity continued to win new converts. North African Christians faced violence at the hands of Roman oppressors. One of the first African martyrs was Perpetua, a 22-year-old woman executed in Carthage in 203 CE for refusing to make sacrifice to a pagan god. She was killed in the city's amphitheater, set upon by a wild beast, and then struck through with a sword. 5 other Christians were killed with her, including Perpetua's enslaved servant Felicitas. Saint Cyprian, a bishop of North African descent, led Carthage's Christian community during the particularly bloody reign of Emperor Decius, 249 to 251 CE, when Decius issued an edict requiring everyone in the empire to make sacrifices to the gods. Many Christians obtained libelli, asserting that they had carried out the order, while others apostatized, publicly renounced their faith in order to escape execution. When the persecution subsided, Saint Cyprian held a meeting of bishops to decide whether apostates could be readmitted to the faith. It was agreed that those who had publicly renounced their faith could be forgiven only on their deathbeds, while those who had acquired libelli could be pardoned after serving penance. This established the important principle that the Church had the power to forgive serious sins such as apostasy, and that this power was invested in bishops by God. Carthage continued to produce notable early Christians. One of the greatest, St. Augustine, born in 354 CE in Tagasta, Numidia, studied and taught in Carthage. After converting to Christianity in Rome, he returned to Numidia to set up a monastery. Appointed bishop of Hippo, near modern-day Annaba in Algeria in 395, he went on to develop the concepts of original sin and predestination and the theory of a just war. Christian Ethiopia. The kingdom of Aksum, ancient Ethiopia, was outside the Roman Empire, but became Christian in the 4th century. It is said that Christianity took root there as a result of an accident when Meropus, a Phoenician philosopher, sailed to India accompanied by 2 young Christians from Syria, Frumentius and Adesius. On their return journey, their Roman vessel was attacked as they tried to moor at an Ethiopian port. All on board the vessel were killed except the 2 youths who were spared on account of their age. When the 2 Syrians were taken to the royal court, Ella Amida, the ruler, saw potential in the young men and made Frumentius his treasurer and Adesius his cupbearer. After Ella Amida's death, the queen regent invited Frumentius to help govern the country until her son Ezana came of age in around 325. Frumentius nurtured the spread of Christianity in Ethiopia, building churches and encouraging trade. Ezana became the first Aksum monarch to embrace Christianity. He declared the state religion in around 330 and made Frumentius the country's first bishop. The early coins of Ezana's reign bear the disc and crescent emblem of the old Aksum deity Marum, but currency issued after 330 has the Christian cross and the motto, "May the country be satisfied." They are the first coins in the world to have a cross. Similarly, 2 Ethiopian books, the Garima Gospels, which have been carbon dated between 390 and 660, are among the world's oldest known complete illuminated Christian manuscripts. Cut Africa out of the Bible and Christian memory, and you have misplaced many pivotal scenes of salvation history. Thomas C. Oden, American theologian, born in 1931, died in 2016. Nubian brilliance. In the 6th century, missions from Constantinople sent by the Byzantine Empress Theodora entered Nubia, southern Egypt and northern Sudan, introducing misleading images of a white Christ and saints. Christian traders from Egypt and Ethiopia had already introduced Christianity to the region, and Nubian rulers welcomed the Byzantine visitors. 3 Christian kingdoms emerged in Nubia: Nabatsha, Ativa, Alwa, and Makuria, which became centers for a brilliant Christian culture. The Cathedral of Faras and the Cathedral of Kasr Ibrim, both in Abasha, and the Cathedral of the Granite Columns in Dongola, Makuria, all built in the 7th and 8th centuries, contained fine frescoes, mosaics, and carvings. At Kasr Ibrim, archaeologists have found thousands of legal texts and documents showing high levels of literacy in Meroitic, the language of ancient Meroe, Latin, Greek, Creolized Greek, Coptic, Old Nubian, Arabic, and Turkish. They have also found towns across Nubia with 2-story houses equipped with hot and cold plumbing and communal oil presses. Christian Nubia survived for 700 years, withstanding the Islamic conquest that swept through North Africa from the 7th century. It secured trade treaties with Arab forces and later achieved friendly relations with the Fatimid caliphs in Egypt. Only in the 14th century did Nubia finally convert to Islam, far later than the rest of North Africa. Indigenous religion. Africa indigenous religion is a spiritual tradition that predates or is separate from the Abrahamic religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. It accounts for 15% of the religious affiliation in Africa. It is expressed in numerous ways and reflects various cultural expressions across Africa, but 4 strands are particularly widespread: the Nile Valley tradition of Sudan and Egypt, the Dogon tradition of Mali and Burkina Faso, the Yoruba tradition of Nigeria, and the Bantu religion that covers most of Central and Southern Africa. The Nile Valley tradition is the earliest recorded religious heritage, detailed in the sarcophagi and walls of the pyramids of the Old Kingdom, 2575 to 2130 BC. The Yoruba heritage is the only strand to be practiced on 4 continents: Africa, South, North America, and Europe.